Hi everyone, it is that time again. Welcome back to Garbage In, Garbage Out. And I am so grateful for everyone who's been with me from episode 1, season 1. And now we are literally in the middle of season 2, talking about our emotions. It's not been easy, especially because we are actually going through these things in our current lives. It is something that is currently happening, something that we are constantly facing on a daily basis. So, thank you to everyone who's been with me from the start of season 2 up until this point. You are officially a certified GO family member. And to anyone who's joining us today for the very first time, I welcome you and I hope that you are here to stay. I hope that God fulfills your life and He blesses you for many, many more years to come. And we're also on YouTube. We're also streaming on YouTube. Please do take a time to go just like, subscribe on the page, and click on your notification button to just get notified every time we post. So, yeah, it's another Friday, another time to be with your GO family. So, welcome. And today we are tackling fear. What a crippling emotion. Like, I don't even know where to start because we fear so many things. We fear success, we fear tomorrow, we fear the unknown, like, we fear the color yellow, we fear holes. There are so many phobias out there. But we don't understand how fear is so crippling. Fear is crippling. And I'll just, even before we just get into the episode, like, a little disclaimer. I fear frogs, like, oh my goodness. Frogs are just different species. And a frog can make me change my direction. If I see a frog on my path, I will jump to the other side of the street. I will turn around and change the direction I was going. This is something that God gave me dominion over in Genesis 26 when He made man. But man, put a frog in my path. Everything stops. Imagine how crippling is that? And I'm praying for God to help me to overcome this fear. So that's just an example of one thing. And fear is just, it cripples us in our daily lives. It cripples us in our spiritual life. Fear is very crippling. It's a very unpleasant emotion. It's a very crippling emotion. So yeah, let's get into it. We're at episode 5 and we're talking about fear. And today we're just camping in Psalms, right? We have 3 verses from Psalms. An opener, what we face, motivation as well, and an affirmation. So the first one is in Psalms 23. Psalms 23, verse 4. And I'll read it in 2 versions, right? I'll read it in the NIV and I'll read it in the New King James Version. And in the NIV, it says, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And then we go to the New King James Version, and it says, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. So, with both versions, they are the same. There's just one difference, right? Which is in the first sentence. In NIV, it says, even though I walk in the darkest valley. And then in the New King James, it says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. So we're going to camp there by the New King James, right? The shadow of death. So the shadow, a shadow is just a forecast of what is but is not yet right? You see a shadow of someone before they actually arrive or after they've left. And shadows are casting. So we will feel like we are almost, that's what a shadow is. It's an almost. It's not what it is, it's almost. And often the shadow is bigger than the item. The shadow is always bigger than so yeah, even though you walk through the shadow of, or even though you walk through the darkest valley, David here understands that firstly, before even continuing with the verse, he understands that this is just, firstly, it's a shadow. It is not what it is. And it is dark. Therefore, there is no source of light whatsoever. And our dark valleys and our shadows are different for all of us. And it is very easy when it's dark for fear to creep in. I mean, if you used to, I used to watch horror movies. I don't anymore. But, you know, everything that is bad or that wants to instill fear is always dark. Okay, except if you're like scared of clowns, and yeah, that's a whole different type of thing. But most of the time, fear and, inflicting that kind of fear is centered around darkness. So in this dark hole where fear should be what you're feeling, where fear should be where your base, that's where you find, that is where you find light. And how do you find light? David gives us a very clear description where you are supposed to fear, where it is easy to fear, where the right reaction would be fear. And let's understand what fear is. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the threat. The threat could be anything that is intentional to inflict any sort of pain or harm. So fear is the unpleasant emotion caused by the threat of danger, pain, or harm. Fear is intentional. It is very intentional. And because we fear, we want to, because of fear, or rather, what we do when we are in a state of fear is trying to avoid anything that will inflict danger, pain, or harm. That's essentially how we're operating. When you're scared of something, your mind processes it as a threat. It tells you that you're in danger. This is going to hurt. This is going to cause you pain. This will harm. So when we are in our dark valleys, it is difficult to find light when everything else around you triggers you to think and to say that this will cause me pain. This is danger. This will cause me. But David teaches us one thing, that even though, and it's very essential that we mark that even though we are in those situations where we having all these alarm bells, all these triggers, that we can boldly say that we are not. In the New King James Version, it says, I will fear no evil. So it gives you two things. Firstly, fear is there. You're in a space that allows you to fear, that inflicts that danger, that inflicts that pain, that inflicts that harm. But it also tells you that this danger or this dark valley or this shadow of death is actually evil. So you should be able to say and declare upon your life that even though you are in your dark valley, you will not fear evil. And why is it that we are boldly able to say this? It is because God is with, and that is our light. That even though you are in the dark valley, you have light. And the light that you travel with is God Himself. And you know what happens when you're traveling with God Himself? His rod and His staff will comfort you. In the Message version, it says it will keep you secure. So there's no need to fear because God has got you. God's got you. Why fear when God has got you? Because fear is saying that that threat, your valley of darkness, the danger that you're in, the pain that you're facing, the harm that you think you're facing is too big of a challenge. That's what fear does. Fear breeds doubt. That is the essence of what fear does in our spiritual. Whenever we're in our darkest valleys, we will fear no evil because God is with us and his rod and his staff will comfort us. And then we move to Psalms 34, verse 4. I sought the Lord, and he answered me, and he delivered me from all my. So maybe sometimes you're not like David and you can't boldly say that you will fear no evil. So if you are going through such a situation, then here's a solution. You find it in Psalms 34. Seek the Lord. Seek him. Seek him and he will deliver you from all your fears. If you're struggling with whatever fear that you have, seek the Lord. Seek the Lord. He will deliver you. And sometimes our fears are not just bad things. Our fears could be even good things that the Lord wants for us. And I'm just going to say like a quick quote. This is literally one of my favorite poems. It's a very famous poem. And it's by Mary Ann Williamson. It's in her book, A Return to Love, Reflections of the Principles of A Course in Miracles. She is an excellent writer, but this is a poet. This is one of her most famous pieces, and it's called Our Deepest Fear. And I'll just recite it, right? And I'll just want to focus on certain parts, but it reads as follows. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest of the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. We were born to make manifest of the glory of God that is within us. So therefore, why do we fear? How do we fear? Because the glory of God is already within us. We have the light within us. And when you feel like you don't have access to that light, seek him. And God will reignite that light within you so that you can shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. That little light is faith. That little light is hope. And that little light will make your whole dark valley a whole different place. That little light will guide you out of that dark valley. That little light will deliver you from all your fears. Fear becomes a crutch that we hold on to because we are afraid to shine. We are afraid to become the people in which God had destined us to be. Fear makes you shrink yourself in order to fit in order to cover yourself and protect yourself from danger, from pain, and from harm. But God says that his rod and his staff will comfort us. So yes, you'll be in danger. You will have pain. You will go through harm. But his rod and his staff will cover us. So seek the Lord. Seek the Lord. and he will deliver you from all your fears. And his rod and his staff will comfort you. His rod and his staff will comfort you. So, just in closing, there's an affirmation I want us to just repeat that will just wrap everything. And that is Psalms 56, verse 4, which reads, "When I am afraid, I trust in you." Fear is the lack of trust in God. By the way, just saying, fear is not trusting that God will protect you. Fear is saying this your problems are bigger than his, or that he is able to manage. So I ask you that you look at Psalms 56, verse 4. And anytime there's any ounce of fear that you feel, you continuously recite the verse. When I am afraid, I will trust in you, Lord. When I am afraid, I will trust in you, Lord. Anytime fear tries to creep itself into your life, speak it and say, when I am afraid, I will trust in you. And in order to be delivered from our fears, all we have to do is to seek God. Seek God, and you will be delivered from your fear. Know that his rod and his staff will comfort you. Not only that, but he is with you in your dark valley. He is with you when you're walking through your shadow, because when you are afraid, put your trust in him. I hope to see you next week. I cannot wait to talk about embarrassment. Fear will not cripple us. So let's learn how to deal with our embarrassment. I'll see you again next week.